Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Radhe Radhe. Welcome to this Samarpanam series, where Bhaktas from the Global Organization for Divinity Australia submit their offerings on the 60th Jayanthi of His Holiness Maharanyam Sri Muralidhara Swamiji. In this series, we will dive into excerpts from talks given by devotees on stories from Srimad Bhagavatam. In this episode, Sri Shabarinath Vaitheeswaran from Melbourne describes Bhagavan's avataram as Kapilopakhyanam. In his teachings, Bhagavan describes the greatness of satsang and how attending satsang, listening to the divine stories of Bhagavan, and singing his divine names with shraddha can instill bhakti in our hearts.
Bhagavan is saying being in a satsanga is the only way to cross or help us get out of it, because problem is our mind is attached to looking at or perceiving things. What we have to do is shift the focus and turn inward, and that is possible only being in a satsanga. When we are around people who talk the glory of Bhagavan, who talk the katha, who tell us the stories or leelas of Bhagavan, who constantly chant nama of Bhagavan, all these things help us get our focus inward. And he's saying in yoga, Ashtanga yoga, there are 8 parts. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. When someone gets into a satsanga, how is that possible that he will be able to practice this yoga? How is that possible that he can get what you can achieve through Ashtanga yoga? You can just get it so easily in satsanga. Mahatmas say they divide this yoga into 3 parts. One is body. Get your body in a position where make sure that you are in a comfortable posture. You only do the right thing. Yama, Niyama is doing the right thing. And Asana is being in a comfortable, sitting in a comfortable posture. And then Dharana, and then comes mind control. Then you have Pranayama, where Pranan is controlled, and Pranan and mind is not separated. It's the same thing in 2 different forms. One is a subtler form, the other one is a grosser form. And prana is controlled so as the mind gets controlled as pratyahara and dharana. And then dhyana comes, where you meditate on the form of the Lord, and then samadhi happens. So this being the process, how is this possible in satsanga? Being in a satsanga, what we do, it could be nama sankirtana, it could be katha, it could be leelas or looking at Bhagavan. What happens there is we are in a sukhasana. We sit comfortably. And then in that environment, we are not doing any ill act. We are having our senses under control. And then when we start listening, when we start chanting nama, what happens is pranayama is happening. Automatically the prana gets controlled, and the mind is holding on to the katha. What type of katha is? Bhagavan's leela, like his avatara, and then he is a Navanita Chora. So Navanita Chora, he starts stealing the butter. He's actually not stealing the butter, he's actually stealing the mind, our thought from us. And then he does the Govardhana Leela, Kaling and Ardhanam. All these things are so captivating that our mind focuses on Bhagavan, and what happens is slowly and steadily pratyahara and dharana. Dharana is like dhara. The focus is fully on one thing. And then dhyana happens. What is the dhyana? Just like how Bhishma did, where he just imagined Bhagavan in the Yuddha Bhumi, where he just saw Bhagavan with the sweat filled with sand of Yuddha Bhumi coming. That is the kalpitam we will have according to our own nature, and that is dhyana. The form of Bhagavan gets into our mind. And finally, slowly and steadily, when we be in satsanga more and more, we get to the state of samadhi, just like any other Mahatmas get. So, satsanga has that potential, and Bhagavan himself says why it is so significant.